Today we're looking at solving equations that involves fractions. Um, and before maybe we can do this, first we need to recall that when we have two fractions like this fraction this side is equal to the fraction on the right hand side. Now in order for us to solve this, what we need to do, we have to cross multiply. We multiply these two, and then we are going to have, we need to put now brackets. We start with that numerator there, then we have x plus 5, and then multiply by that 3x minus 11, and then we also multiply these two, then you're going to say equal, and then x minus 1 times x minus 1. Now after that, what we need to do now, we have to expand these two, the brackets on the left and the brackets on the right. We multiply x and 3x, then we get 3x squared, and then x and minus 11 we get minus 11x, and then 5 and then 3x we get positive 15x, and then 5 times negative 11 we get negative 55 equals to x times x we get x squared, and then x times negative 1 we get negative x, negative 1 times x we get negative x, and then negative 1 times negative 1 we get positive 1. Now after this, what we now need to do, we need to simplify, or maybe we can collect like terms, but let's work with what we have on the left hand side. Then what you are going to have is 3x squared minus 11x plus 15x, we get positive 4x, and then minus 55 equals 2x squared. This 2 gives us negative 2x, and then positive 1. Now here we need to collect like terms. Then we are going to have 3x squared minus x squared, and then plus 4x, and then plus 2x, and then minus 55, and then minus 1 equals to 0. We moved all the terms from this side to come this side, and the signs had to change. This is positive, this side becomes negative. Here is negative, this side becomes positive. This here is positive, this side becomes negative. Now what we need to do, we have to simplify that. Then we have 2x squared, and then here we have 6x, and then minus 56 equals to 0. Now we have a very nice quadratic equation. Now what is interesting here is that we need to check the number that we have in front of x squared. Is it a factor of 6 and 56? In this case it is. Then what we can do, we now have to divide throughout by 2. You can also go ahead and divide the 0 by 2. You still get 0, so we don't need to do that. Then what's going to happen is that these 2 here and these 2 will cancel. Then we only have x squared, and then plus 6 divided by 2 is 3x, and then minus 56 divided by 2 is 28 equals to 0. What we had here was a quadratic equation. It's the same that we have here. The only difference is that the value of a here is 1, while the value of a here is 2. So you can either use factorization, or you can use the quadratic formula, or you can use completing square to solve for x. Now here we are going to use factorization. Now to use factorization, what we need to take note of, we have to consider this number here, the value of c, the y-intercept. Now for us to get the two solutions, here we are going to use a very short method to get the solutions. We have to consider the value 28, and then we look at the factors of 28 that we can multiply to get negative 28. When we add the two factors, we should get positive 3x. I mean just positive 3, not x, but positive 3. And those two numbers should be negative 4 and 7. If you multiply these two, you should get negative 28. And if you add these two, you should get positive 3. The negative 28 is what we have here. The positive 3 is what we have here. Now, the two solutions for this quadratic equation, let's write x equal to, or x equal to, there should be two values. For every quadratic equation, there should be two solutions. Now, since these are the two numbers that we have, negative 4 and positive 7, therefore the solutions will have to be the negative number becomes positive, and the positive number, which is 7, becomes negative. And those are the two solutions to that quadratic equation.